Hi, Sharmi.
Happy New Year, um, Auntie.
Hi, Chinaka. Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you. మీకు కూడా హ్యాపీ న్యూ ఇయర్
I'm
తండ్రి.
good. I'm good to do a special program today. It's called Happy Start of the 2026 and Morning
అచ్చా,
Routine for Life.
ఓకే.
So, what does it mean? How did the ancient celebrated their life? So we should be doing that too. So I'm just going to give you a glimpse of what was the ancient wisdom and thinking was, about life and how to start it, how to maintain it, how to live it. I think we could learn some lessons at least from them. Okay. For example, they don't have this time. They have what's called samay, some completely different clock, different thing, different orientation. They never have life ending or beginning. They have life cyclical, right? We take birth, we take uh, uh, death as also as a common event, and then because we know other birth is going to be, that was their perspective, right? So we're going to talk about our morning routine in terms of how ancient viewed life and life purpose and life, how we can start in the morning about that. Actually, we do. Remember, I use what is called AEIOU. The U being the universal consciousness, identifying ourselves as that consciousness that is present in all of us, right? Yoga is ultimately union of ourselves with identifying, actually, not even creating a union, but knowing, understanding, and recognizing that we are part of that universal consciousness in the conscious spirit, right? If you don't have the sense of I am, that life force, you don't have the body and the mind. A lot of people think yoga is union of body and mind. No, that's at the base stage. As a human being, you are not separate body, separate mind, separate heart, right? All of them together, you are a human being. You're not like a instinctive and then don't have any memories, don't have any plan, none of it, right? You are a thinking, feeling, and suffering, enjoying, happy. All that is a human being, right? So, are you bringing the whole human being to life or not? Are you just thinking a lot, being neurotic? That is a lot of the modern man. We don't have to be. We can understand our instruments better if we know what is really us. And that's why they said you are not just this thinking, feeling, or having this metabolic process of hunger or thirst. All those things are also part of you, but you are a human being. Human comes from the word hemora. That means made from the elements of the earth, right? And that's why that everybody has a physical body, and in the physical body they have this brain that can think, and they also have this consciousness spirit, and that animates both the brain and the mind. So identifying who we are and then trying to be that. See, what do I say? I'm not the body or mind, but they are my useful tools. So, understanding what is real yoga, then we can manage our instruments better. Suppose you have a quiet mind, you have a focused mind, and you have a mind that's not taking you all over. You enjoy that, don't you? That stillness of the mind they taught in yoga. And then they said, your real self comes out when you make your mind quiet, right? So we are always making our mind quiet in the sense when we are starting the exercise today, we kind of keep our mind focused here in the present, right? and then we go from there. Okay, so let me start this class with telling you about what is real New Year is and how the ancients celebrated and how we stepped into something of a new energy, and then we kind of understand that and bring it into our morning routine every day. Thereby you are really occupied into the real meaning of that. Okay, so see, my motto that I kind of understood from the exploration of this wisdom from the ancients all over the world, it is like a first really know who you are. This is what we are. We are integrated body, mind, breath, and thoughts, heart, and also our inner spirit. What kind of person you are, what kind of qualities you bring, like your kindness, your compassion, your not dividing people according to the race, none of that, right? You are a good human being when you have that nice heart, and also you may be sharp in your mind, but you use that for the betterment of the world, right? And they always ask it for Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. All people be happy. And also Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all one family. World needs that now. World is divided geopolitically. What's going on all the time, and people are really discriminated, and lot of inequality that is breeding so much of suffering, right? So, but if you realize we are only one human tribe, and all human beings around the world are in one family, that is a glorious, glorious way to operate in this world. That's why they said first to realize that you are a human with body and mind, being with your consciousness, right? Spirit. And then you are a complete human being. You got to maintain your body with exercises and also deep breathing and keeping your mind controlled and in what you are doing focus. That way for them new year is every moment, every day is a new start. Let's get the start with the spirit of we are all one and we are that. As a human being, that is what you want to realize. You don't want to be limited by your thinking, by thinking limitedly, like thinking I am only this, not that. No, we are all integrated human beings. And they said there are 5 layers: the physical layer, the energy layer, the mental layer, the understanding layer, and also your joyful nature. All these layers are human being. So animals may have joy, but they don't have the mental layer. Animals uh, also can show the heart, provided you show them heart, right? But they also breathe, they also have physical bodies, but they don't have to be in charge of their wellness and health. We have that privilege. So use the mind instrument properly, not against you. That is what is happening with a lot of people. They're thinking too much, scattered in their focus, and not able to really save the energy by calming themselves down, and not able to enjoy and do something in focus, in flow state. That is we are capable of. So start every day as every day is a start of a new time for you. It doesn't have to be day, a month, or year. It is the start of something new. I do that every day morning. I remember what the purpose of human being is, to realize who we really are. We are not just the body, just the mind, but we have them, and we are also the inner spirit, the inner conscious being. And that is what we are going to focus on, right? So, what do? We stretch our body in this morning routine. and so that our tensions go away, our body is getting stronger, and have building up the stamina to go and contribute to life in the form of work or profession, whatever you do. So first, realizing who you are, you manage your instruments better, right? So that's they said atmano mokshardam. That means you are not just this simple thinking or limited thinking or thinking like I'm fearful, anxious. No, none of that. You are that everlasting life force, spirit that is there within you. As it enters in you, you are having the life. And as long as that continues, you breathe and do well. But you have the chance of really enjoying your life here in good health for a long time and also to be joyful, right? So the Atmano Moksha is the first thing that they said. Human being has this intelligence to turn inward and realize who he is or she is. Once you realize that who you are, then you go and serve the world. Atmano Mokshadam Jagat Hitayasha. This is my motto, and it starts every day, every moment, right? So once you know who you are, then you want to maintain your physical body by stretching and doing the yoga exercises, which they have perfected over thousands of years by observing the nature, observing the animals, and observing our life situations, right? And then they understood the significance of life force coming into us in the form of breathing. So they have real respect and real admiration and appreciation of the life force coming into us as breathing. Again, thousands of years of lived experience gave them value of the breathing. So we want to understand more and more about our breathing. We can understand scientifically, and we can understand philosophically. We can understand in so many ways. But the very act of breathing you have to do to invite that life force within you, which not only gives you energy but also calms down your frenetic thoughts, thoughts going all over. You want people to take a deep breath, right? So that's what we are doing, the second step in our practice. Breathing deep and making it more useful within us, and also helping us to be here in the moment completely focused. So that's the third thing that we do. We keep our attention here and now so that it is functioning optimally with whatever we are doing. We are stretching or we are really sitting down and breathing, whatever we do, we and take that present moment awareness to our life. The rest of the day, the rest of the life, what we are doing, we want to be focused on what we want to do in life, right? We may like a work, we may like producing a profession or company, whatever. Whatever we do, we bring our complete attention to whatever we are doing. That's what we do in the morning report. And the fourth thing is thoughts are important. Thought is a very wonderful, brilliant tool that we have. But don't let the thought control you. Rather, you sensing that I am having the thought, that means you are that awareness of thoughts. Be in that awareness and use the powerful instrument of thought of looking back and gaining learn lessons from the past, looking forward and trying to plan up some kind of plan so that we can really use our time and resources better and really live happily and joyfully here and also enjoy whatever we do. Work, relationships, or whatever we do, we can do that. That's why we want to have the really observe the thoughts. Don't get involved. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get depressed by the thought. The negative thinking is, after all, results in depression. But if you want to think too much, but not really go any beyond that, then you are really caught in the cyclical thought. Get out of it. Use the thought effectively to the job that you are doing, to the task you are doing. That's why you learn to observe the thought in the morning. These four things we do. we stretch our body, we deep breathe into our body, we keep our attention here and now by being in the present moment awareness, and really observe the thoughts, not to go away from our control. And then we take to the work, our life, non-reactive attitude and responding to the situation with a higher prefrontal cortex, which they call buddhi. But if you stay with the thoughts and then go wherever it takes, that is manas. And that you don't want to. You want to respond to whatever appears to you in front of you, right? So that's what they did. So we want to have a non-reactive, that is really not reacting to situations and producing our stress hormones, or giving us a lot of stress and whatnot. Don't do that. Okay. Then you want to serve the world. You want to give to the world. See what I said? Atmano mokshardam. Then you found your abundance within you. Then you go jagat hitaisha. Go and help the world. Do something for the world. Contribute. That is the service. So you cultivate a service attitude. You come out saying, I'm going to contribute to that. So today morning, I said, I'm going to talk to my friends who are coming to do yoga with me. Tell them what is that we are doing. How is that this is deeper significance for me. I do come and do every day with you most of the days, right? Why? What do I get? I do prepare my body for the service that I want to do the world, right? So you want to develop a service attitude. Wherever you go, first ask, what is that I can do to this situation, to this particular institution, to this country, to this world, to this life, rather than what am I going to get? Because if you don't have any needs and desires, what does it mean? That you are already fulfilled. You are coming with that abundance. You are not asking life to give you anything. You are trying to give to the life. If you can go to that level, then you will be serving the world, right? And then you kind of attend to all the 5 layers of the okay, body and bring all that to the service. So you are non-reactive to external events. You are kind of wise and stable, and don't get emotional for everything. Don't react, and then you bring out your service in the form of abundance within you coming out. What do we say? You realize, and then you come and contribute to the world, right? And then what happens? We are non-reacting, we are servicing, we are being equanimous to successes and failures, because they both are part of life. Failure can be made achievement if you learn from it, and next time you try, you implement the learned lessons. You don't have to retain everything from the past, but you want to understand and learn and implement the learned lessons without tasking your mind with a lot of data, a lot of unnecessary experiences that leads to unnecessary suffering. So these 7 principles we bring into the yoga practice. We have 2 A's: awareness and alignment. Alignment of 3 B's: body, breath, and the brain, right? And we have AEIOU as a guide to us. We want to be alert, awake, and aware. That is for the A. E for we want to energize by deep breathing, by keeping our mind here and now, and conserving energy like that. And I, we have insights by our own swadhyaya, self-study. During the practice, we notice what is happening with the body, how is our energy is, and also what is happening with our mind. Do I have a lot of thoughts coming and going? So observe all that. That is the insight into your own, how your body right now, how your thoughts are right now, how your focus right now, how your present moment awareness right now. Nobody need to point out to you. You can observe yourself and learn from that. And if you feel like it, you can correct that, right? So that is what we talk about. And all the time we are going to be doing that, right? So O is there are sounds that have emanated from the primary sound, and they identified that even NASA has found that in the space, this constant humming up Om, and that has three letters in it, A, U, Ma. When you say that, not just listening to me, that may have some effect. But then if you do that noise from within you, your own resonance of that noise in your own system releases your energy. Okay? A for the abdominal energy channels, U for the chest, and Ma for the neck. So we will do that. And then the final thing which I started with, the universal consciousness that is in us as a spark of life, as I am sense. That doesn't change from childhood through the youth, through the old age. You always have that I am sense, not your image, not your ego, not your personality, but irrespective of all of that, this I am sense is there. That is existential. That is awareness. And that is blissful. Satchit Ananda. Sat Chit Anand. Sat means existential. We are existential because we have that spirit, our sense of life, our sense of I am, right? And that is our awareness ahead of our thoughts and our feelings, everything we are aware, right? That awareness is that existential spirit, and that is blissful because it doesn't have so much thoughts going around. Rather, it observes the thoughts, directs the thoughts, and all that. So, understanding or practice in this deeper sense of yoga, yoga means yoke. Yoke means union. Union of what? Our individual sense of I am is actually part of that universal consciousness. It's not separate from it. It's not okay, it's individual, it goes and meets universal. No, the universal consciousness is in you as jiva, as atma, as individual consciousness. We think we are not individual, we are united in consciousness. There is only one consciousness in all of us. Realizing that is yoga, yoke, union of jiva with Paramatma. Paramatma is the universal consciousness. You can call it God if you want to, whatever. But basically, that is not in our hands. It comes into us, and then we have the life, and when we continue the life, we meet it. That's what is it in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells you in chapter 10, verse 20, I am the beginning, he being the universal consciousness or God, being the I am the beginning, middle, and end of it. Okay, so that is coming into us every day as life force in the form of breathing. So be reverent to that, and then you will have to, when you take the deep breaths, don't do mechanically. Be aware that life force vast is coming into us, so we should be reverential to the value of that. That's all, okay? That itself is the God, that it is the universal consciousness, that itself is the life force, that itself is the energy. Once you have that, you will be able to do everything, okay? So let's start our routine, and then we slip into, I'm going to examine what is yoga and what is not, why we are fascinated by what is not, and then stuck in that, and why we are not getting into this abundance that we have within us. So I think it's going to be instructive for you, and it's going to be interesting for you at least. And then think about it, what I said, and don't accept it just because I said so, but come into it, and then you will be able to really get some lessons into our life from the ancient wisdom, and that may lead you something very, very valuable in terms of performance, in terms of quality of life, in terms of what you do to other people. Okay, so let's go into that. And my thing is all about what is the welfare of the human beings that is increasing because we are bringing the wisdom from our ancients. Okay, not going back, not getting old or none of that. But how do we have quality of life here and now in this life, in this moment, not at the start of a so-called new year, but every moment. So for me, this is like a new start of the life in 2026 by conveying this to my friends. As I said yesterday, even if one person understands and gets benefited, not to me, for himself or herself, my effort of trying to really live this and also tell people what is the wisdom of being like this integrated, you know, that's what I'm focusing on. Let's start with our routine. What we do, we want our entrepreneurs, we want our people to be ready for the work or whatever they do in their life, right? So we want them to have a strong body, flexible body, no tension in the body, but then a lot of energy so they can go and work with a mind focused, a heart open, and a body ready for the work. So in the morning, people get up and stretch these yoga exercises, and also they can do standing, they can do sitting down, they can do lying down in the bed. So whatever their physical capacity, they can do that, right? So that's what we tell people that you should be doing this in the morning, so that their morning routine determines how your day goes. Your body is energized and flexible, no tension, does better, right? And then you kind of want to deep breathe into your exercises so that you have the energy coming in. And with that energy, also your mind is quieted down and focused. So let's do three breathing exercises to start the routine with. The first one is called Vastrika. In yoga, there are some preparations that are you get up in the morning, take a shower if you want to, and but be alert. And then when you come and do these exercises, have a empty stomach and do them with focus, right? So what you do is you sit straight in the chair. I'm sitting in the chair, so you can also sit in the chair with your spine not resting on the back, but also to the front a little bit, so that you have spinal strength increase. Now you want to empty stomach, take deep breaths through the nose, keep your mouth closed, and as you take a deep breath in, your abdominal wall raises because your diaphragmatic curve is pressed down and it pushes the abdominal wall up. That's why when you take a deep breath in, you do that. You come to this with empty stomach and you sit straight, and then you start breathing through the nose, all breathing done through the nose in this Vastrika. We will hold that after the inhalation and then breathe out as the abdominal wall goes deep into the spine. That is the exhalation. 7, 4, 8, you want to remember. 7 count, you deep breathe in. 4 count, you hold it. And 8 count, you breathe out. You do those cycles, 8 of them, before meal. Okay? If you have eaten a snack, half an hour later. If you have a full meal, 1.5 hours later. Okay? So now you have dressed in loose clothing, an empty stomach, sitting straight. Now start take deep breathing. Hold it. Breathe out. That is 1. 2. 3. 4 done. 4 more. 2 more. Last one. That is it. Okay. These practices are global. I look at the human existence in a panoramic way from ancients to modern life. I have equal enthusiasm about ancient wisdom and scientific discoveries we are making now. Combining them was my richness in my life. Okay, so don't take it like this is Indian, this is old, none of that. Human beings everywhere have really expressed their genius in the form of discoveries, and they have studied a lot of things in meditative awareness and brought out so many truths about life. The more we understand them and implement, remember that word, implement them in our life, we get benefited. But don't do it just because it is beneficial. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay. Now, let's go and do the second exercise for the breathing, where you raise both your palms to the camera. You can see me on the YouTube if you want to, and LinkedIn also. And your elbows are bent to the side. Now, raise the palms above your head as you take the deep breath through the nose and extend your elbows all the way up. For this, you don't have to be on empty stomach or anything. You just stay in the chair, keep your spine straight, and do it so many times at work. Okay. Now, as you breathe in, it goes up all the way. Now, breathe out and bring the hands down. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. See, it hardly takes a minute to do that. Okay. I encourage you to develop these habits during the day here and in the morning, and do that during the day all day. That way, you are really getting benefited from that. Okay. That is something important that you want to understand. Okay. So, as you as you really do that, then you will be able to understand these are beneficial really to start in the morning and continue to the day. Okay, so hello, Sham, please mute yourself. Okay, so it's a habit that you want to cultivate in the morning and take it to the day. Then you will see that you are really in charge of your instrument. Okay, so the third one we are going to do, this is a deep diaphragmatic breathing. First of all, clasp your hands together and keep them under the chin. Now your elbows are bent and to the side, right? And then you kind of raise your elbows to the side and really bring the arms above your shoulders and take deep breath in as your head goes back. And after going back fully, then breathe out and bring the head to the normal position and bring the elbows down. Okay. So elbows are raising to the side, right? Both hands are clasped under the chin. Now take the deep breath. As you take the deep breath in, throw the head back. That opens up the diaphragm very well and the upper lungs epices too. And now start breathing out, opening the mouth. Whisper the word ah as you come down. That is one. Two. Three. Four more. Three more. Two more. Last one. Okay. This is New Year Day. Lot of resolutions are made, but many people fail because they don't understand what is the conditioning factor in this? People think, and they think, I can think through it, I can use my intellect, and I can use my willpower, make a resolution, it will happen. No, it may start, but then next day you may not have the same resolve, same willpower. So you may fail, and then you feel that you have failed in your resolutions. So understanding the conditioning, I did a special talk on that. Go and listen to that if you want to. Then how to not to fail the New Year resolutions. Good thing you have made a resolution, but it doesn't have to be only New Year, but it has to be all day. Once you understand your conditioning factor, and then you will fall for it and you will be overcoming it with new habits. Okay. So that's about New Year resolutions. Okay. Every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. Right? Once you understand that, then every moment becomes a new start. Okay. So we have done the 3 breathing exercises that we want, so that we can. Then now we're going to do some exercises, asanas. Asanas are sthira, sukham, asanam. Sthira means stable. You assume a posture and stay in that stability, but comfortable. Sukham means comfortable, pleasant actually, and asana means posture. And maintain the posture with few breaths. Then even if you do few of them, you get immense benefit. Okay, we will start head to toe, and then we'll go into different asanas, and then breathing, and then we'll go into the identifying who we really are. That is the climax with the Shambhavi Mudra. Okay, that's the agenda. So now lift up your heels. As you take deep breath in, come on the toes. And as you breathe out, bring the heels down and lift up the toes. Flex at the ankles. 1, 2, 3. Lifting up. As you are breathing in, heels are lifted up. You are on the toes. As you go down and breathe out, heels are down, toes are up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there you go. You have done the toes, ankles, and the heels. Now lift up the right foot and extend the right knee forward. Take a deep breath in as the foot is coming up and the foot is going down. Breathe out. Do the same on the left. Both feet are done. That is 1. Start 2nd. Right foot up. Right knee is extended. As you breathe out, bring it down and place it on the ground. Right foot. Now the left foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we come from the toes to ankles to the heels to the knee joints. Now we're going to go for the hip joint. Clasp both your hand, make it like a cup, and catch the right knee with the cup. Okay, both hands are in a cup like they are holding the right knee, and breathe out and bring the right thigh to press on the abdomen. And take it down as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the right thigh to press on the abdomen. 2, 3, 4. Important to breathe out as you bring the right thigh to press on the abdomen. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now go down and do the same on the left side. Okay. Cup both your hands together around the left knee. As you breathe out, bring the left thigh to press on the abdomen. Bring it up. As you breathe in, take it down. Left foot goes down. And again, breathing out, bring the left thigh to press on the abdomen. 2, 3, 4. This is important because a lot of people don't realize they have massage of the inner abdominal pelvic organs in yoga. Okay, that helps you with your health and wellness. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. So, from the toes, ankles, heels, knees, and to the hip joints you have come. Now we will go and do something for the side of the abdomen and the chest. Let both your hands hang on the side with the fingers pointing down, palms facing each other, wrists are down, and also elbows are down. Okay, and now raise the right hand towards the side, and parallel to the floor at the shoulder level. Here, turn the right palm up to the sky and bring the whole right arm up so that right arm touches the right ear, elbow is straight up, and also the hands are up. Now, bend and reach to the floor with the left hand, which is dangling down. 1. Come back to the center and go again. As you go, deep breathe in, and as you come up and to the center, breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As you are doing these exercises, coordinate with the breath and also coordinate with your brain, your attention being here and now, and doing both sides of the body equally. Now, raise the left upper extremity parallel to the ground at the shoulder level. Turn the palm upward and bring the whole upper extremity up so that left arm touching the left ear and right arm is down pointing on the side. Now, bend or stretch to the right side. Okay. Take the deep breath in. As you breathe out, come to the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And lower the hand down and relax. In between exercises, have the habit of taking deep 3 breaths that are nurturing you, that are relaxing you, that keep your mind not going all over. Okay? And also you're coming back to your Sukham, comfortable posture. Yoga is not something to be strained, but it is to be trained. Start where you are and increase your goals slowly and achieve them by yourself without comparison, without any competition. Collaboration that breeds cooperation. Okay? So you do it yourself according to your goals, according to what is comfortable for you. No pain in yoga. Okay? You should not be experiencing any pain. If it is, that is something wrong. You are going against your nature of your body, out of your inner energy and all that. Okay? So do everything in sthira, stable, sukham, comfortable, pleasant posture. Posture is the asana. Sthira, sukham, asana. Okay, assume that and then start breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so there you are. Now we see we have done up to side of the abdomen and chest. Now we're going to do the chest muscles. Bend your elbow, right and left elbow to the side and place the left hand on the top of the breastbone like this. See, elbow is bent and to the side. Same with the right elbow bent and to the side. And right palm over the top of the left palm at the breastbone. Now release the right hand and take it to the side by extending your elbow, right elbow to the side. At this time, twist and take the right hand to the back as you turn your head over the right shoulder and look at the back and stay there. Okay, and start breathing out and bring the hand right back to the chest by bending at the elbow. Now do it on the left side also. Take deep breath in as you take it to the back, and as you start to bring it back to the chest, breathe out. See, both arms done, that becomes one unit. We have done 2 units so far. The third one. Fourth one. Four more. Do a complete turn. Twist the torso and the head over the shoulders. 2 more. The last one. There you go. Okay. So you have chest wall muscles exercised now. Now we're coming to the shoulders. Just lift up both shoulders as you take the deep breath in, and as you take them down, bring out the breath out. Breathe out. As you raise them, breathe in. As you lower them to normal position, breathe out. 2 done. 3 done. 4 done. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Okay, 8. Just a simple shrugging of the shoulders. And now extend both your hands to the side at the shoulder level. Your palms are up to the sky and your fingers are straight, elbows are straight. Now breathe out and bring the fingers to the shoulders and place them there. 1. Breathe in, take them to the side, to the periphery, and breathe out and bring them to touch the. So you are bending the elbow. This is the elbows exercise. 3, 4, 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. There you are. Okay. And now keep your hands on the knees and take 3 deep breaths. Now raise both your hands, elbows extend to the front, and you do the wrist movement up and down with all the fingers open. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now tuck the thumb into the palm and flex all your fingers over the thumb and make a wrist, and then do the up and down at the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now rotate both wrists to one side and bring it back and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now open the fist and make a fist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. There we are. So we have done all the way upper till neck, right? Whole body below the neck is done. Now we're going to do the neck exercises. Keep your head straight, look straight at an object in front of you, and now turn your head to the left as you take a deep breath in. Turn it all the way and feel the stretch on the side of the neck, and then breathe out and bring it to the center. Don't go to the right away. Slow, deliberate, with the focus on the breathing. Now to the right. Slow movement. Chin is turned towards the right. Face is turned towards the right. Breathe in as you do that and breathe out and bring it to the center. Here, slow, deliberate, conscious movement with awareness of your breath is important. That is one, both sides. Let's do 4 more cycles like this. To the left. Breathe out and bring it to the center. Breathing in to the right. Breathe out, bring it to center. 3 more. Be present, be here and now. Be aware of the stretches of the neck. Okay? 2 more. Last one. There you go. So I have done neck movements to the side. Now we're going to do forward and backward. Move the head on the neck like the bird to the front and go back. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now you're going to bend the neck to the side. Like a left ear is trying to touch the left shoulder as you bend the neck to the side. Not turning, but bending to the side, right? As you take the deep breath in, bend it down so that the left ear is trying to touch the left shoulder. Now breathe out and bring it to the center. And do it on the same on the right side. Breathe in as you bend down, breathe out as you bring it back. Two done, 3 more. Slow, deliberate, being here and now, feeling the stretch, living with the stretch. 2 more. Last one. See, you can advance this exercise as you go on. I showed you the variations. You can do them too if you need more stretch. Now, we'll do what's called a rotation of the head from front to the back, to the side, and to the front again. Okay. So what we do here is, first of all, breathe out and bring the chin to the chest. And now start breathing in and turn the head so that the left ear sweeps over the left shoulder and the head goes back as you take the deep breath in. And start breathing out and bring the right ear to sweep over the right shoulder and bring the chin back to the front. Okay, that's one. Two. Three. Now do the opposite side 3 times. There you go. Okay, that is rotation of the neck, which is a very good exercise for all the muscles. Okay, just remember when you take it up and back, breathe in, and you bring it back to the front, breathe out. And now we're going to go and do some exercises for the tense muscles in our face. First of all, bend the right elbow and bring the right hand to the right cheek. Press into the right cheek with the right hand and press the right cheek into the right hand. And so that this is acupressure yoga. We do 3 times pressing that will relieve the tension in that muscle. 1, 2, 3. Do it on the left side. Remember the equanimous, both sides of the body. And keep your hands on the temple and press and release. Press and release. Press and release. Now, clasp your hands and put them on the forehead. Press them down and release. Down and release. You can feel the pressure in the muscles releasing. And now, put it on the side of the head, both hands, and press and release. Press and release. And both hands together in the back. Press and press the head into the hands and release. That completes the head to toe. We did it in reverse. Toes to, ankles to, knees, hips, side of the abdomen, chest muscles, shoulders, elbows, hands, fingers, and then coming back to the neck and the face and the head, right? So if you can do this in a rapid fashion 2 to 3 times a day, that's more than enough for all the other asanas, okay? Keep your body here in the present and breathe in energy and really know what's going on within your body and mind. Okay, so now we're going to do some couple of asanas, few asanas, and then go into the breathing exercises. Okay, so first of all, we'll do what's called Garuda. Okay, so put your right foot down into the ground and pick up the left foot and bring the left thigh over the right thigh and place it there and wrap the right ankle or right foot around the right ankle, left foot around the right ankle, and then right hand under the left hand like this on the top and stretch the muscles between the scapula and keep your head straight and take 3 deep breaths. Okay, unwind the hands, unwind the feet, and now place the left foot down on the floor and lift up the right foot and make sure it wraps around the left ankle and on the top left hand under the right hand, and you stay straight for 3 breaths. And unwind both hands and the feet. Okay, this is Garuda. Now we will do Nauka pose, that is boat pose. Lift up both feet together and extend both knees to the front. And you keep your hands on the side of the knees. And as you look from the side, you look like a boat. This is good for your core muscles. Hold the position for 3 breaths. See, that is Naukasana. Okay. So you can go on doing so many asanas. Because of the lack of time, we're going to go and do the breathing exercises now. Okay. And then we will go into our Shambhavi Mudra to be who we are. Okay. First, let's do Kapalabhati, where you exhale here forcibly as you bring in the abdominal wall inside towards the spine. Okay, both happening the same thing. Breathing out and the abdominal wall going in happening simultaneously, and then inhalation happens automatically. You do up to 60 times to your capacity. You can start with the 2 or 5, but understand the technique first and do the technique correctly. Okay. See, up to 60. You can do as many as you are comfortable. Okay. If you can do more than that, ideally, we want this to be done 3 to 5 minutes initially, first week, and then go into more 5 minutes to 10 minutes very slowly. But you can do that by yourself. Okay. As you do that, you will be happy that you are doing just this exercise only. Now let's do Ma, because we cannot do all the breathing because we have this 9 o'clock Zoom session. I promised my friends. So we are starting that so that people can really be here. Okay. So in the Ma, you can now open your mouth and utter as you breathe out. But first start breathing in, then open the mouth and utter that word 5 times, then O 5 times, the Ma 5 times. Okay. So that way you really know your energy channels are opened up. Okay. So let's start. Now we're going to do okay. Ooh. 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 Now Ma. 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 Like that, you can go on, right? But it's more like what are you
Recording in progress.
energizing? Okay, as you energize your um, body and your each part of that, that's much better. Okay, so now we're going to go and do a couple of minutes of who we are. We are that energy that is within us. Identify with that, not with our thoughts, not with our self-made ego or personality, but what is behind that. Behind that awareness, that is what we want to identify with. Okay, so as you identify with that, you will be really living a human being life, not a human thought life, not a human intellectual life, not a human body life. Okay, you are not just the body and mind. So when you take the deep breath in, affirm that you are that conscious being. And when you breathe out, you say, I'm not just this body or mind. We'll do 3 times today because I opened the Zoom session. Koham, soham, deham, naham. Who am I? I am the conscious being. I am not just the body or mind. They are my instruments. Koham, soham, deham, naham. Who am I? I am the conscious being. I am not just the body or mind. They are my instruments. Koham, soham, deham, naham. Who am I? I am the conscious being. I am not just the body or mind. They are my tools. With that, we are done for the morning report. I think shortened version because we are talking so much about what is the purpose of this morning routine and all that. And now I'm going to present to you what I titled it as more like a okay, let me go there and first open up the chat. This, and we're going to go and open our presentation here. Okay. Hi, Prasad. Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let me switch something on here. Yeah. Well, the speaker is not on that. I'm trying to participate through my cell phone. So yeah, that's okay. No. This speaker here is not on. I'm trying to put it on. Okay. So now I got it. 1 second, please. I was doing the morning routine, so I was kind of distracted probably there, but I did not notice that this was not put on. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to do this talk, what's titled as Bhoga versus Yoga. Okay. So if you understand this, then you understand what's the purpose of this yoga, why we are doing this, why so many people are enamored by the what we see as yoga. See, this is Bhoga essentially experience or enjoying ourselves in this world. Okay, but then that pleasure or experience, whatever it is going to also give us suffering. We may lose what we cherish. We may have a relationship breakdown, children walking out on us, things like this happen. So if you have that attraction, raga, then you will have dvesha, they said. Raga is attachment, dvesha is away from that, right? So that bhoga means I'm here, I want to enjoy my life, I want to experience my life, all that. There's nothing wrong with it, but it does produce suffering towards the end. So what they said was develop some detachment, understand the temporary things, and stay in what is permanent with you, with your own energy, with your own spirit, and really developing what's called vairagya. That means dispassion to the worldly temporary things. It's a choice. You can have bhoga or you can have yoga, whatever you want. But if you want less suffering, it's more for the yoga. And that's how that civilization evolved. They understood the temporary things and then they kind of went into the yoga, right? So it's a practical framework from moving from outward comfort to inward freedom from our own mind, from our own conditioning and all. So this is part of our proactive wellness. We are teaching people to develop. A lot of meditation is done in America, but then a lot of meditators do not really benefit the liberation we're talking about because they don't practice all the time. That's one thing. The other thing is they don't develop this passion, vairagya, to the material comfort and all that. Okay, so that's what we are going to talk about today. And let's see. As I pull up these slides, you should be able to see them. Okay. This is a big talk in a way. It's not like a simple thing.
Rahul,
Yeah.
if you're sharing your screen, I'm not able to see.
No, you are now
Yeah.
sharing the screen. You said,
Yeah, I can see you, but if you are showing anything else, my gadget is not picking up.
See, I'm kind of. It says you are sharing the screen, and I
I
don't.
see screen share, but I'm unable to see anything else.
Okay, I don't know what's going on because it does say we're sharing the screen. Let me stop it and then do it again.
Yeah.
Now. Can you see it now?
No. Let me come back. I think let me log off and come back.
Yeah, it does say you are sharing.
The screen is loading sometime back, but
yeah, it says participant can see your screen. That it says that.
Yeah. Please continue, sir. Yeah, now
Okay.
I can see. Yes.
Yeah, I can see that now. All right. So, there's an AI companion that kind of doing everything for us, here. So
Yeah.
That's also there. We've got to figure out the new technology probably, So anyway, I was talking about this bhoga and yoga thing is basically we are trying to tell people what is the problem of just enjoying ourselves? There's a friend of mine. He does these vlogs of eateries. He goes around the country in India, and he is enjoying a lot of foodies, a lot of foods, and a lot of variety of menus. And then he revels at them. And then he is kind of telling everybody, come and eat at this place, come and do this and all that. By doing that, he may be promoting comfort. He may be promoting important foods and tastes and all that experiences, but they don't last. People will develop diabetes, hypertension, all that, eating that street food, and then they will be missing out on the food, and that is the suffering they will invite by getting themselves addicted to this. Okay, so that is what is happening with a lot of people. They are not able to really get into uh, good food and keep their wellness for a long time, mainly because they are kind of uh, getting into these bad habits, right? So that's what we're telling them. I don't know why this screen is not moving also. So yeah, you can come and join me on the WhatsApp, Prasad. Okay, nobody else is there, so let me get out of this. So anyway, that is the theme. You can enjoy yourself, but with the withdrawal, you will suffer, right? So instead of that, what we were telling people is enjoy yourself, that's no problem, but develop this kind of a little bit dispassion, little bit detachment to that. Don't think that is going to be forever happiness. And that is how people develop this habit. And then when that is withdrawn for something, because nothing is going to be the same in life, right? So what we do is we kind of withdraw and go from that to something that we want to uh, enjoy, something different. And that changes all the time. That's why they said dharmartha kama moksha. That means you can have money, artha, you can have kama, desires fulfilled, but one desire fulfilled, it feeds another desire. It wants another desire too. So there is a limitation. You can enjoy it to some extent, but there is a limitation to different things, right? So then what happens? You are going to be uh, really so I'm closing that Zoom so that I can present this. Okay. It is giving me trouble today. I don't know why. So, dharma, artha, kama, moksha are the four truths. Any way you can live. You can go for the money, you can go for the material comforts, you can do all that. You can do all of that, no problem. But they are temporary. They are not forever fulfilling. What is forever fulfilling is more like what you do with your mind, with your understandings. If you can do that, then you will be able to really enjoy life in a free way. Not about really uh, experience something and then experience suffering. That's not what it is. So that's why whatever you want to earn, you do it in a dharmic way, in a righteous way. Whatever desires you are pursuing, your innocent desires, that is also fine. But then do that in a way that is right. Okay, not in a really unnecessary way. Okay, or violent way, or not righteous way. So they said you can do all this, but then you have to have the sense of what is right, what is not right. That's obvious, right? That we know, all of us. So when you really look at that way, then you will know what is right, what is not right, and you will only do the things in a righteous way, right? So that is what is happening with many of the people, and then they come to a state where they say, what is really fulfilling in life? How can I really understand that you know this kind of thing is there, and I can do that in a limited way, and I also seek for what is really important for me. Okay, that kind of thing. So they said moksha. Moksha means liberation from your own condition, thinking that everything is only pleasure. I will do these things forever, and I can drink to my pleasure, and eventually to get you, right? And like that, even the family attachment and all the also will get you like that. So those kind of things people talked about, and then there was a whole system that really evolved for people to understand what is going on in my life is not really worth it sometimes, right? And then Western life is like that. People may want to do lots of stuff in their own life, but then they find they're not satisfied anymore. People may achieve very, very good things, right? But then they will say, okay, I'm not happy with this because I'm kind of always pursuing things that are not important for me. And then I'm realizing, by the time I realize, my sense of uh, emptiness is growing, so I feel empty. This is something we see with the doctors also. They have accomplished so lot, and then they have really experienced a lot, but they feel like, I am feeling empty. I want to understand, I want to know the real meaning of life. These kind of things are no purpose, no meaning. Okay. So why this boga or yoga matters now is modern life, it offers extraordinary material abundance, right? It does offer extraordinary material abundance for us. But then it doesn't really give us the comfort. See, there's a quiet crisis unfolds beneath the surface. Okay, because we have all these modern, extraordinary material comforts or abundance. Okay, we are rich externally, endless entertainment, instant gratification, comfort on demand, whatever you want. Okay, yet many feel profoundly, really poor inwardly. Let me say that. Okay, they don't feel that just. They don't feel the joy. They don't feel the thing that they had done as a child. They lost all that. This promises of pleasure multiply, but the lasting significance, that is not there. That is really becomes elusive to many people. They live, or they get addicted to a drug or alcohol or some pleasure thing, and the more they do it, the more addicted they are to it, but then that doesn't give them that inner rich feeling or joyous feeling. This is why that yoga thing is very important, because everything change, every experience changes, every experience demands more stimuli, and that's how the addiction happens, right? But if you have no dependency on these external factors, but really satisfied within yourself, atmano atmana, they said, that means satisfied with your inner self, inner being, not just being just like that, but they're discovering that abundance within us, that life force, that ever present thing that's going to sustain even after we leave our body and mind. Once you are established in that, that is Atma Moksha. Once you have discovered your Atman, once you are understood that permanent energy that is there in everybody, and you identify with that, then you don't have this craving. these desires for external things. Because you're already full. Why do you extend your bowl for begging for something? You would not, right? That is the essence of this yoga. Discovering we are part of that universal consciousness, and we are going to be there forever. We may have some bodies and minds that are temporary and that they'll go away, but we as ourselves will be everlasting. There is no fear of death. There is no fear of losing enormous feeling of fullness, richness. That is what does offer. So Bhoga, the pursuit of sense-driven enjoyment, that promises relief from stress and emptiness. Yet, paradoxically, it often amplifies the very restlessness it claims to soothe. It doesn't, right? We reach for distractions only to find those those whatever we reach out for, that to find ourselves as more scattered, not really getting it all together and being happy and confined to that. Okay, so we seek pleasure only to discover deeper craving, but no relief from that. Whereas yoga offers a difficult path entirely. It's a different path, not difficult, different path entirely. It restores attention, cultivates steadiness, and awakens a joy. That is important. It awakens a joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Non-causal joy coming from within a human being is the human intelligence that we all have. We forgot about that. This isn't about renouncing life, not at all. It is about reclaiming the quality of your inner experience. A lot of people think we have to leave everything, and then no, we kind of view them for what they are and what their status is and the impermanence of that experience. You just experience and let it go, that's fine. But you develop this cravings. That's where the suffering starts as the seed. And when the cravings are not fulfilled, we suffer. Instead, don't cling on to anything. Enjoy and leave it. You see a tree, beautiful tree, and then in the moment you are completely with it and you are in the enjoyment of the appearance of the tree and all that. But then thought comes in and say, I want to compare this to something I have seen before. I want to have this experience again. That more you don't have to. Let it go, enjoy it and let it go and go move on to the next one. Okay. So yet Be a Pal, my company, we have proactive wellness. This serves as a bridge from this scattered awareness to aligned living to purposeful existence. You have a purpose in your life, you have a cause you want to serve, and you want to be more into that, not using all the other things as a props. You can discover your own strength within. You can really make your mind very useful instrument by focusing it, by keeping it under your purpose. Then you will be living for a purpose. You have a meaning because you are living for a purpose. Because you have a purpose, you have an organized mind, and that mind doesn't scatter all over, doesn't get tempted for small things, small pleasures, and then it can easily let them go. So you can enjoy life, but you don't have to be addictive to that enjoyment. And that addiction goes away when you discover something deep within you that is purposeful, meaningful for you. And that is what the yoga does. It kind of makes the human being go inward and find out their true fulfillment. Okay? As you understand this, it's much easier. Okay? Let's have some clean definitions of what is bhoga, what is yoga. Bhoga is a sense of basically senses activate, sense-driven enjoyment, and that pulls your attention outward toward objects, toward experiences and sensations. then that offers a short-term pleasure and temporary relief from whatever underlying going on within you, and it often reinforces the craving and the dependency. Right? You want to see a movie and you want to see another movie and then like that. Okay, but you may get tired of it after 10 movies. Right? What it does is it scatters attention across external stimuli. Not one. You want that, this, and all that. Right? And it creates cycles of seeking and exhaustion. That is bhoga, sense-driven pleasure, like enjoyment. But as yoga, you see, it's a union with your inner awareness that returns attention to its source within consciousness. That's why I'm talking about our sense of I amness and all that. This cultivates long-term contentment with yourself because your mind is stable, it's not scattered. And then stability, you have the stable mind. So because you're not in the mind, you are using mind as a tool, right? So what it does, it eases the cravings that we are developing through clarity and also presence. You are present in yourself. You are not driven by the mind to something else. It gathers all your attention inward to stillness. That is the beauty about the stillness of the mind, which is a natural function that is promoted by not being that thought-driven everything, but more like a keeping the thoughts stable together. Okay, that is what happens with the yoga because you are focusing on the inner self and you are not allowing the mind to go all over. So this builds capacity for sustained well-being. Okay, so that is the definitions of bhoga and yoga. Basically, sense-driven enjoyment. If you think it's permanent, that is an illusion. It will be broken down by the life itself. Nobody need to do that. You see a binge Amazon things, then what happens? Both pathways, either you're going to sense enjoyment or you are understanding the limitation of it and doing it limited, that is important, right? Both pathways are part of being human. We're not saying one is bad, one is good, but where you are, you just understand. That's all. Just have a clarity and then pursue. Okay. So the question isn't whether pleasure exists or pleasure important or not, but whether we remain conscious enough to choose our relationship with it. How much relationship we want to have with the pleasure, or we want to see. Otherwise, life will show you. You do the same experience several times, then it will go away and you want more stimuli. That's right. So this ancient clarity, see, pleasure was seen more like a binding on us. It doesn't relieve us. It doesn't free us to experience as a human being that innate joy, innate happiness. That was seen. But when the pleasure brings us out away from that, and also it binds by increased craving. That is the clarity ancient had was pleasure was seen as bandha, binding. Okay, they don't want to get trapped in that. And because they discover something deep, something meaningful, something joyful, something blissful, they kind of stayed there. Okay, but the modern paradox is we still are bhoga because we are kind of insensitive to suffering, or we think we don't have the suffering down there. But eventually they go away, and then we want to find out what is important in life, what is a meaningful life, And then, so why bhoga persists? That is the paradox. We know most of these sense enjoyments lead to cravings, lead to addiction and all that. That means basically suffering. So the paradox is bhoga, we think good, but then the suffering persists. Where I see the burnout and stress and everywhere is there, doctors who have done what they wanted to do, they achieved a lot and they served a lot, but then now they lost sense of service. Now they lost sense of importance of taking care of another human being. That itself is a privilege, right? And because they lost it, they viewed it more like a thing to get some material things like a buildings, cars, or riches, whatever, name or fame, whatever. And they don't have the lasting effect after a while. Or they are taken away from you. Okay? And you cannot market happiness. Pleasure is sold as happiness itself, collapsing the distinction between momentary sensation and lasting contentment. See, advertisement creates false equanimous comfort that success is, happiness and stimulation is aliveness. No, it is not. Obviously, we all experience in our life. And then our consciousness is crowded with lots of thoughts, consistent stimuli. They kind of fill ourselves with lots of things. We then allow us to stop and reflect, to stop on self-inquiries. What's going on in life? What's going on in my own mind? What's going on in my understanding? Why I have these sensations of insufficiency? Why I'm not happy with certain things? I may be doing them mechanically, routinely, but I feel that, the taste of emptiness, void within. That is happening in the life force. That's why doing this bhoga, the sensory enjoyment, is limited. If you don't realize that, then you will not be able to discover the abundance within you. And also, you are subjected to a lot of suffering, which are all the burnout, exhaustion, all the stressed out, all these things are happening because of this. This is the paradox in the modern life. That's why I kind of bring this integrated approach to life and live it that way. But doesn't mean I'm not seeing a movie or not enjoying anything. No, I do, but I know the limitation of it. Now to a point where I can be sitting quiet and enjoy the stillness, enjoy the quietude, enjoy the serenity of the stillness. And I don't need anything from you guys or anybody, because I'm satisfied with what I really am and staying there. And that is the beauty of union with our universal consciousness. That is yoga. Okay. So it's not like making yoga the big deal. No, it is a natural human development. And you just understand that. You go do it in a moderate way, in a limited way, but not getting sold to the marketing practice or saying that, oh, you do these things, then you are happy. It is not really, you may be pleasure a little bit and then it goes away. Okay. So actually, technical solutions are pain is treated as a technical problem requiring external intervention, a medication, a purchase, a distortion. All those things are given. Oh, if you are feeling painful inside, you can have these external things to feel it. Rather, in the spiritual signal, painting toward misalignment, that is the pain. Once you reflect on that, then you will be able to really attend to the root cause of your pain and attend to that. But don't mask it with something external stimuli, external purchase, external whatever experience. So withdrawing from that after a while was taught in yoga as called Vanyaprastha. That means after your middle age, after your family is raised and all that, then you go to the forest, away from the worldly life, and you can reflect on the whole life and really go inward and find out a lot of answers in your stillness. But the social conditioning going on here, the community structures, they reward consumption more than discipline. By busyness is promoted more than stay silent in your presence. That's not really taught in the social condition that we are going through. Achievement, they want more than, well, I already have a being. That itself is that I don't need to achieve something else. I may achieve something but I don't have to depend on that pleasure that comes out of that. You don't value that anymore after a while, okay? Especially if you live a certain life, okay? So we are always praised for doing now, but lately for simply being. That is the biggest problem I see. More doing, more and more doing, but very little being. Human being. Human is not just doing. You can do the stuff, but your real inner abundance is your inner being. I don't have to state this, I don't have to convince you. What I'm saying is what I've seen. I've seen the success as a physician, I've seen success as a practitioner, I have seen the limitation of that, and then I have wanted to not to bury my inquisitive or my questions, but pursued that. They are the ancients helped because they knew how to turn inward, they knew how to acquire within, and they don't want to say, I know everything, I don't have to know. No, they said, I don't know anything. That's why I want to know. Now, what is a modern intellect, modern egoic personality? We know Westerns have all the answers. And why did you reduce the world to this? Warring communities, loneliness, suicide, mental illness, too much of chronic illness. Look at the state of affairs of the world by this attitude that intellectually everything, doing stuff according to everything, and we are the exceptional people, we are the egotistical people, we have no everything, our mind says this and that's it. I don't have to come into that suffering. I don't have to buy into that, provided I'm independent, I'm looking at things on my own level and understand thinking is good, but thinking is only part of me, and I don't want to give it to the rain. That's the modern mind has given that, and that's why they're suffering a lot. Why can't a human being be here and understand inwardness and stay there in the presence and then appreciate the beautiful nature, beautiful people, beautiful human relationships, and giving out joy and happiness to everybody by giving out? So you realize, and then you radiate out, and then you help the planet also. A lot of ecologists work on the outward things, but we were pointing it out from the beginning. The revolution that you need is in the consciousness itself. In the consciousness that we are human beings, we have an inward being. That's why inward life is very important. Not self-absorption, not self-importance, no, but understanding the essence of being and stay there, that is yoga. Okay, so as I saw the modern paradox, why boga persisting despite suffering? These are the reasons. Marketing happiness is happening, consciousness is crowded with a lot of thoughts, and then pain is treated more like a something we have to attack with something external instead of as a signal telling us we are malaligned, let's come back to it. And then the social condition of doing stuff instead of pausing, reflecting, and really understand what's going on in life and doing only the things that are meaningful to us. We are influenced by everything else around us. Okay, so this isn't about blaming the Western culture. No, it is a human condition. We're all navigating through this conditioning and systems designed to capture attention and convert it into consumption. That's what's happening. So recognize these forces is the beginning of your conscious response. First, you have to recognize what's going on. But if you are sold in whatever you think you're right and you're a believer, then what happens? We have what is called attention economy, right? This is the invisible driver. Your attention is the product that everybody wants. Entire industries exist to harvest, hold, and monetize your attention. All the social media appears to be free. No, they are taking your attention. Every notification, autoplay, and infinite scroll is engineered, actually engineered by people to keep you engaged, not for your benefit, but for their profit. But they build it as the which is benefit for you. You cannot live with it. FOMO, fear of missing out, right? And this attention that you are giving shapes your identity. What you repeatedly attend to literally becomes your default mind. Very careful. That's why it's read very slowly. What you repeatedly attend to literally becomes your default mind. Neutral pathways strengthens with use. If you have neutral
So,
pathways.
so can I have a question?
Yeah.
Sometimes we become very emotional. How do we handle those things? Economists, I
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah, emotional.
become very emotional and attached.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is what is. You allowed the emotional to grow, to nurture them, and never really watching them. Emotional was strong thoughts, and then they're attached to, and then they evoke this humoral response, the hormones, which really cultivate that much more, right? So you want to be really study the emotional or observe the emotions as they arise instead of security. See, because you allowed yourself to be strengthened, those emotions, they become very powerful. That's why it's very difficult for people to get around. But suppose you step out of that movement, you go a little before the emotion or little after the emotion, you can see that was not needed for you to be driven by the emotion. Once you get that look on the emotion like that, without really getting involved in that, it becomes much easier. Because you never, or you can show your emotion something more noble, positive, thereby the energy that emotions carry, powerful, powerful energies, right? And they are directed to something bigger than you. Why do you suffer emotions? Mainly because they think this is my emotion, it's how I feel. So everything is about you. But if you have directed that to something greater than you, your family, your institutions, your country, your world, your God, whatever, then they have much better direction, not really swaying you into suffering, right? So you can have the emotion turned very positive too. Thereby, it serves your life, not against you. It doesn't give you the pain and all that because you are not really hosting so much investment into that as it is my emotion. I have to be feeling like this. I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should be feeling better, all that. So what is involved there is me, me, me. Turn that a little bit and see what it does for the group, what is for the bigger life, right? Then it becomes so much easier to handle that. What I'm saying is take a break, reflect on it, understand it, and then use it for your meaningful, purposeful life, and then see what those emotions turn your energy around. Okay, so it's not like a simple answer. It's not something easy to say, oh, just suppress your. No, emotions are very powerful thoughts. We want to understand them. Why we are feeling certain way to certain things. All that reveals us about our what is our purpose, what is our meaning, what is important for you. All that is revealed by just staying back and say, I hate Dr. Rao, for example. Why do I hate? It doesn't make sense to me what he's talking about. Okay, and then you stop there and say, am I blaming him because I don't understand, or am I blaming him because I don't want to get out of my position? Usually, that is a self centered thinking that promotes these emotions to be out of control, overwhelming us. But once you shift it, my life is not my life. My life is also connected with everybody else. And let me see what is important for everybody else also. Make sense, Sharmi?
Yeah, definitely, very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
reflect on it. Don't think, oh, this emotion is bad. It's giving me so much of pain. All that. Yeah, it is giving, but why? It's very difficult to stop when the emotion is taking us over. That's why you want to reflect on what you have experienced. That is when you can really make sense of it. It's not intellectualizing, it's not conceptualizing, it's like a facing thing as it is. For example, if you are angry and you are not involved with the anger, it will go down. That means you are aware of the anger. You are not going on with anger and then letting the mind weave its network of so many thoughts around it and make it stronger, but you step out of the anger and you are aware of the anger. Try that next time. You have an emotional something intense feeling is there, like you don't like somebody or whatever they said you don't like and all that. Step back from that, from the emotion or from the thought, and observe, because you are awareness first, then thoughts and emotions happen within you. You are like the sky, but these thoughts and emotions are like clouds coming and going, the storms coming and going within you, but you can be aware of them within you. Then you are not them. They are happening, but then they are going away, temporary phenomena. That's usually the case, right? People may have intense emotion and then it goes away sooner or later. That is a fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just observe it. So if you feel negative about something, Sharmi, tomorrow, and just don't indulge yourself or don't resist, but just observe. That's one of the things I teach in the morning. Observe your thoughts, observe your emotions. You are the awareness in which all everything else, the thoughts and emotions are happening. Remember that analogy. I am the sky of awareness. In me, I can see the clouds moving. I can see the storms coming and going. Emotional turmoil is that. And then this reactivity that we cultivate because we are trained to react. See what are these marketing people are doing? They're trying to invoke your emotional background and then get you feel like that and then buy. Suppose I talk to you, however many information I gave it to you, it may not be that important for you. But if I make you feel good about something, then you really like it. So that they bank on and they use that to sell their things. And we fall for it thinking these external things are going to give me pleasure. You can have limited things, but why do you have to be exploited by like that? That is what the marketing does. That is the modern life. You cannot just justify, I can do this, all this, and then make money. That is what's happening, and we're falling for it.
So can you give me one tip to observe? Sometimes I am not able to observe before the before any
Yeah, simple thing. Okay. I tell you, don't be so much boga oriented, know the limitations, and then leave it alone. That means I'm asking you not to cling to an experience. For example, we went to the temple, they gave you some food as prasada, and you value that is from the god. So you value that because you think that is going to give you some strength, some blessing, something from within or outside coming to you. So you are very reverential to that, right? And then you kind of very happy because you received some kind of blessing in the form of prasada that helps you to fill your void, your emptiness, or your craving. You are begging, right? You are begging for something. Don't get involved in that, but just stop and say, what is that I'm doing? The bliss or the grace is always there from the God. That's the world that's there. But why are you creating an emptiness and then seeking for some begging or something? See that you don't observe all these things and you just be very happy. Oh, I received this prasad. Oh, this is going to do good to me. This is going to be a blessing. All those things go on, right?
Especially in relationships
Yeah.
when they are loving and they are detached
No,
and
again,
those kind of
again, that is
all those
asking
things.
for love from somebody.
Yeah,
Externally.
externalizing that.
Why you are asking is your problem. Whether they are giving.
Whenever I feel some upset or something, I have to reflect upon. Okay, I am externalizing this. That is why I'm feeling hurt.
Yeah, but don't be too intellectual. Just observe.
Okay.
Just observe.
Yeah.
See, what it is it's not about really making intellectual argument. It's about at the time the emotion is happening, are you aware or are you involved in it completely? Most of the time, people are involved in that. That's why it takes over.
It involves, it gets completely 100% gets involved.
All I'm saying is step back, be in your awareness and observe it. If you do one time, Shami, it becomes habit up from then onwards.
I'm not able to do that. I'm just trying that moment.
That is the conditioning I talked about earlier on the New Year Eve. What it is, you built up the conditioning so hard, so concretized, those roads are firm in your brain. Your conditioning that you allowed to happen because you may be unconscious, you may not be knowing, and you are influenced by the society and everybody. So you kind of never paused and reflected and built up your own pathways in the cortex. This is the neuroplasticity we talk about. The more you allow your thoughts and emotions go unconsciously, the more they will be forming pathways within you. Because you are not like this as a child, as a young girl.
Yeah.
You have listened to, you have to read and everything. Then you develop this kind of established thinking patterns within you. So what we are inviting is step back those patterns and observe the pattern. And the more you are not involved in the pattern, the more you are not relaying the road stronger and stronger. So you are developing a new neural pathways that kind of don't yield to the marketing pressures, stimulate. Nobody can influence us if we don't want to, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to listen to such a marketer. He cannot influence us no matter what. But we can say, maybe he's right. Maybe what he's saying makes sense. Maybe my life will be happier. Then you go for that. But that guy has no business of improving your happiness. His business is to sell his thing. So he will say, also, but we fall for it. We made the whole life like that, doing stuff, but never stopping and saying, why do I have to do so much? Why do I have to do something that doesn't make sense to me? Why do I have to involve in making money for other people? See, this has happened at the COVID time. People stepped out of that doing cycle because forcibly they were said, go home and stay there. Especially in the United States, many people discovered they are just getting the dollars, but not the quality of life. They don't have the time, they don't have energy, they don't have inclination to sit down and reflect and find out what is important for them. Or don't have the resources to do it because the time and everything is taken away by this corporate culture.
Nice.
So then what happened, right after the COVID is beginning to return to normal, many people resigned because they thought, I can spend my time with my daughter or my son, and that is more valuable to me than just making a few bucks.
It was awakening time.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly true. Awakening time. Many people awaken to their own realities. What yoga is inviting is cultivate this habit of observing the thoughts as they happen, emotions as they happen. That's what I put it as the fourth thing that you do in the morning routine is to observe your thoughts and emotions. Learn the behavior of capacity to not to be taken over by them, but to observe them as separate from me, as I am the awareness ahead of the thoughts and emotions. In me, in my awareness, thoughts and emotions are happening. I can be that awareness and then observe the clouds come and go by, storms come and go by, emotional storms. That is what you are asking about. The emotional power is so much. It's like a storm. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But once you
Sometimes when you're sad in a relationship,
yeah,
and expecting the other person to console
yeah.
us or something.
Don't
is wrong,
expect other person. There is no other person in here. It's
Yeah,
only you.
exactly.
Okay, we are not talking
Others,
about
we
other
have to.
person, because if we
Is
cannot
it
do it,
wrong?
no, it's
Yeah.
not wrong. It's a kind of
Mm,
all you can do is only with yourself.
mm,
That's what I'm saying. Not being selfish, but being understanding. I am responsible for my thoughts and feelings. Let me clean them up. Let me develop a mental hygiene so that I can come to the world with an enlightened, awakened mind.
mm,
Not a weakling that is responding to everything that's thrown at me, a thought or an emotion or all that. And then it looks like my life is automatic. It's happening because somebody else says something, somebody else is not saying that I'm loving. So why do you have to ask for love if you are loving?
mm,
That is there. That is the point I'm talking about. That loving nature is inherent in human being. See, the saints
we
and
didn't
all those
tap
people,
into it.
yeah, when we go to them, the
Mm,
love oozes out of them, radiates out without
mm,
telling a
mm,
word.
mm,
You
mm,
can be like that. That's the point of all this education about the ancient wisdom and everything is they have
mm.
discovered that like a scientific breakthrough we can worship now. We don't worship that kind of insights.
We worship knowledge.
Yeah. No, knowledge is also intellectual level, right? But knowledge has
Exactly, but modern.
yeah, knowledge becomes wisdom when the
Mm,
knowledge insight is applied in your life. Not even known, not even known,
mm,
applied in your life.
mm, mm, mm,
Otherwise, it becomes just an intellectual thing again.
mm,
So, what I'm saying, recommending to you, Sharmi, is a emotional episode comes, you cannot do anything about it to overwhelm you. That is your current state of affairs, for example. Then, after the storm passes, take some time to reflect on that.
mm, mm,
Why did I, swayed by that so much? Why it took hold of me so much? What is going
mm,
on? It's not about intellectual discussion. It's about awareness of how you are, not again to some
mm,
kind of noble destination, but
mm,
as you are.
mm,
That's okay. Then, if you can reflect and stay, next time something like that comes, it will be much less intense.
mm,
Okay, so you kind of talk about so many things and tell about everything, but for your own, you don't know what to operate. That is our modern mind condition, human condition. That's why I'm saying, okay, boga is good to some extent, but beyond that, it's not good. If you watch Netflix every day, every hour,
mm.
how can you work
Mm.
anything? How can you do anything for your body and all that? But
Yeah.
you see, maybe an hour I will see that at the end of the day just to relax and all. That's okay. But that also you don't need the person who is really not relaxed. So you can go through the stages very much and avoid the modern suffering that's happening because of this withdrawal, these addictions, or constant strain, all those things are happening. That's why attention economy, the invisible driver of taking you away from that yogic union towards the
Oh.
the bhoga, and then the bhogas are considered everything. Okay, even if the temple comes, what do Indians or Hindus? They give importance to the clothes, to the festivities, to the religious activities, to all these bhogas. And they say we are very spiritual people. No, you forgot what the spirituality is. You are engaged in religious activities that are supposed to bring the spirit in you. You go there and you put both your hands together. Yeah, you are namaskara to the Almighty, That Almighty is within you as the life force. So right hand, left hand together at the heart. That means left brain, right brain coming together, and also identifying the divinity with everybody. Then you don't have to do something external puja. You should be aware of the divinity within you and within everybody. That is what I see in each patient, a being. I don't see Sharmi the girl, Sharmi my friend. I don't see that. I see only the human being in Sharmi. The same with Charlotte, Dharani, everybody. Then what happened? Our world is one. We are all in that feeling one as human being tribe. But then now you have me and somebody else, me not getting love, somebody else is getting love from me. That is not there because you are aware of the union and you don't have to claim that I'm going to love you or give me back love. You are just loving. You have no division. You have no identification apart from you. But the intellect makes it, okay, I have to get something. I have to be honored by my ego. I have to be honored for what I know. See, most of these people identify with the roles. You take a platform. The platform may have a manager running it so that everybody else can form. But he has an air about himself because, oh, I am the authority in this platform. I don't give a damn about that role. If I have the role also, I don't give a damn about that importance because I am already knows my importance. You get it? So this is where the modern culture of ego and profits is a devastating thing on the human happiness. You identify yourself like I am this, I am doing this, then you are egotistical. But you are say, something comes out of me like a fragrance from a flower, but my job is to make sure that I'm flowering inside. That is yoga. Flowering from inside, cleaning up your mental hygiene, really coming up to.
Hello, sir. Good evening and happy new year to everyone.
So it's a kind of question of understanding.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, what is important and why this mental hygiene is important and why whatever little work you do, you don't have to say, "Oh, I am doing it." You can say the divinity within me, the divine around all me is making me do these things. See, when Ramana Maharshi said, it's a mistake to say I am doing it or thinking that I am the one who is doing this because it's the divine that makes you do everything. Then you don't have the problem of getting this egoic nature and suffering because of the division that creates or really crushing down. Somebody praises you and you inflate yourself such a big deal. And then you forget that you are also a human being like everybody else. Then somebody else comes to say, after all, what are you? What you say is nonsense. Then immediately the ego goes down. That is suffering. So this boga attitude, ego attitude, profit-oriented attitude leads us to inevitable suffering. But if you don't want that, then go and reflect who you are as a human being and identify that being part and stay there and observe everything, the life, the thoughts, the emotions from there. Then you are not sucked into the bogic experience, but you are kind of understand it and don't be overwhelmed by it. Don't make it an addiction either. You go and enjoy the puja, for example, you understand the significance of puja, significance of that deepam, significance of the Karpur Harti or Charagopuram, all those religious activities that were incorporated in any religious activity to really submerge your ego, transcend your ego, and be who you really are. Okay? Make sense, Sharmi?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much.
So understanding these intricacies is importance of yoga. There's so much more on this. Unfortunately, I don't have that much time to talk about it. I will do a separate talk on this. What is attention economy? What are the individual drivers are? And what is the Boga suffering loop? What happens is the central insight in here is Bhoga becomes the medicine for pain that Bhoga helped to create. See, that is, it doesn't work. The loop is of self reinforcing until awareness interrupts it. So, what happens is stress or emptiness you feel within you. Okay, discomfort rises from within, right? Boredom, anxiety, restlessness, or vague dissatisfaction. All these things happen within us, right? So then we look for a distraction. Rather than meet the discomfort, we reach for something to take the edge off of the discomfort that we're feeling. So then it comes the indulgence. Indulgence is what we're talking about as bhoga. The indulgence temporarily relief through pleasure, food, entertainment, shopping, or scrolling, or whatever we do, some substances we take, alcohol, smoking, drugs, and all that. So indulging in the external so-called relief measures is the bhoga. If you continue that, that becomes addiction. But if you realize and break it with awareness, so you can crave something, and that craving leads to fatigue and the guilt also, right? The body is depleted, the mind more restless, and a subtle shame emerges because we feel guilt about all this doing drugs or whatever. So more stress. So what you started out with the discomfort to get some relief from outside breeds more of that. And it's never broken until you are aware of it. That is the insight. That is what you want to understand in here. So the invitation here is simple. Can you recognize this pattern in your own experience? Not to judge it, but to see it clearly enough that choice, awareness choice becomes possible. So usually willpower fails because it's a conditioning of the intellect, but intellect is only part of our existence, right? Every January, millions of people, they make resolutions. By February, must have abandoned them. And they come to me lots of times. And they say, we wanted to do this, we kind of made a pact with you, but we failed. But we don't want to really suckle into that again. And for example, weight loss is the commonest thing. They have been indulging, eating, and all that. All those things are not dismantled. There's impulses and everything is there. But then they have willpower for a few days, and afterwards, temptations come their way. People bring stuff, or they see on the TV, whatever, and then their old networks that they formed within their mind. This is the neuroplasticity we're talking about. That is more active than your willpower is. And that always overwhelms that. So that's why the ancient pattern is very simple. The body, mind carries the habits, right? And they're called samskaras, older and deeper than newest habits that you want to cultivate. These patterns, so formally formed through repetition unconsciously, often over years or decades you form them, and that becomes a nervous system memory. You see, your intellect can decide to change, but your nervous system repeats what it knows, what it has made a big building of, big pathway or whatever. Decision lives in the preformed cortex, but habit lives in the basal ganglia and the body. That's why emotional reaction takes over and then prefrontal cortex is overwhelmed. So in ancient system, they talked about manas, which has the samskaras, which has the impulses, which has the emotions and all that. Buddhi is over that. So that's why we have basal ganglia or, all the limbic system, which is below the cortex, but the cortex is evolved. Are you using it? Because you will have inevitable frustration without retraining the system itself. All your good intentions, they become really sources of frustration. And you self-judge yourself and you blame yourself. So the gap between the I should be doing it and what I'm doing, that creates the suffering. You want to change this way, but you could not change it because you have trained your mind a different way in the past. And that takes over. So you got to have a shift from willpower to training. Retrain yourself. You see, you should stop trying to force change through mental effort alone. That is sure to fail. But begin the patient work of reframing attention and nervous system response. Important points. Retraining attention and nervous system response. That inner capacity comes through by going and finding what's going on inside and developing the mental hygiene, emotional balance, and really not reacting from those basal ganglia or your reactive mind. That's where breathing helps, but also you have to observe your own thoughts and everything coming up. See, what is the good news is what has been trained can be retrained. I will repeat that. The good news is what have been trained can be retrained. It requires consistency, not intensity. A lot of people think I can do yoga 1 week a day. Maybe physically good, but yoga is really for the inner mechanism of the mind and heart and the feelings and everything. You want to use gentleness for the retraining, not the force. Small goal, consistently doing it, then advance it a little. Even in the posture, you can say you stand in tall and you are bending to one side. First time it will be a little bit, but the next time it allows you more. So do whatever yoga choose. 5 different yogas I do in the morning report. What do? I kind of bring in, first one is physical yoga, hatha yoga. Second one is breathing, kriya yoga. And third thing is raja yoga, focusing our mind, right? And we do the devotional yoga in the form of we are recognizing the universal consciousness as the God or force of life, whatever, and then we're submitting to it, understanding that we are part of it. And then finally, what is knowledge yoga? What is my knowledge about the world? What is the knowledge about life? What's the knowledge about other people? And then, who am I? So going from not knowing who I am to really establishing myself in the awareness of myself, that is Jnana Yoga. So I combine all these 5 yogas in a subtle manner, very simple, to prepare our body, mind, and breath, or the heart to the work, to the life that we're going to lead that day. Actually, it's very simple. All our complexities that we are developing, we kind of unwind because we want to be here and now in the moment. In the moment is the life. Anything else is in the mind. Your memories are in the mind, in the past. Your aspirations, your wishes, everything in the future. They both are not real in this moment. Life is in this moment. So live every moment as though it is the New Year day, not just only this. Everybody says, oh, Happy New Year, and all that. They don't understand what is happiness. Wishing for somebody is okay, but then you want to bring happiness to everybody, to the life itself. That's why I want to address, if you go the Bhoga way, you can, but you also anticipate suffering. But if you understand Bhoga and limit it, and then really go towards this yoga way, where you understand who you really are, what your nervous system is, what are the shift that you are looking for. Shift is from the willpower to training. It's not just sitting down, training. Stop trying to force change through mental effort alone. Begin the patient work of retraining attention and nervous system response. You don't even pay attention to the responses you have from your own system. That means you stop what you are doing, you take a break and reflect on what happened. Why did I respond that way? What happened? That's what I say, review of reactions at the end of the day. I tell this all the time. I tell people, prepare to go to bed maybe an hour or 2 hours before you go to bed. Actually, unbind your body. Let go all the tension by doing the Shavasana. Pretend like a dead man and progressively contract and release all the muscle groups so that the tension goes away from the body. Then unbind the mind by reviewing all the reactions you went through in the past day. You are angry, you are jealous, or you are kind of felt very bad about something, they insulted you. All those reactions that you had, go through them meticulously. Don't identify, don't blame yourself. Just go through them and understand, why did I do that? Then the next time the same situation arises where you are reacting, your reaction definitely will be much less intense. Maybe not there, because you have visited. That is a reflecting attitude. That's a taking a break from everything. That is important. That was not provided by for many people. That's why they realized at the COVID time that they are not doing what they could do for themselves, because they were driven away by the external forces. Somebody else wants to make you work because you need money to eat. That's why you need to pay a mortgage. That's why you are drawn into it. Once you are in that cycle, you lost yourself. When the chance came for people to look at where they are, what is going on in them, what is significance is, what they are making, does it make any sense? Once they see that, they are much more happier within with the less resources. Oh, I can have less money, but I want to have quality of life. I want to have some time for my family, for my inner growth, or for my meaningful activities I want to do. They realize all that is lost by this dominant culture of doing stuff, getting stuff for no reason. Lots of times they take storerooms and all that, put in a lot of stuff. That even in our house it is like that. I try to throw it out, and other people accumulate. Then they will accumulate. So everybody has to have this sense of why we are destroying our world, our earth. We consume rampantly. We kind of say, oh, that's okay. You can do it for making money. No, you got to have less stuff, consume less. That is an important thing for the contribution of preserving our planet as well. I think we have destroyed it with our attitude, but we are not awake to that. So I will give you an example of elephant and the rider for what I was talking about. This I talked about in the resolutions, the New Year resolution. See, the elephant and the rider, if you want to understand how come the large animal, so powerful and is controlled by a tiny human being. See, your mind body conditioning is like an elephant, powerful, with its own momentum, shaped by years of training by you. and whatever you have thought, you unconsciously, consciously, and that has given you the system that is becoming to an elephant, your body mind conditioning. See, your intellect is resolved, but he's a tiny rider, like sitting on top, holding the reins. If the elephant is untrained, the rider gets dragged wherever the elephant wants to go. Right? No amount of pulling on the reins helps when the elephant decides to run toward familiar comfort or away from discomfort. It is already its own intelligence. That's the body intelligence. Because there is a emotional intelligence, we call it. All those things, you have to develop them. But here is the hook. Even the tiny rider can guide a giant if the elephant has been trained. That's why he's successful. He trained from the baby. And now also he has to retrain it if it's not listening. Through consistent, gentle daily practices, the elephant learns new responses. That's what we're trying to do in the morning routine. Develop presence in the morning. Develop this non-reactivity by deep breathing. Develop this being in the moment and carry that to the work. Non-reactive. Really giving it something out of yourself in the form of service unselfishly, karma yoga. And you be in the present moment and have a focused mind of whatever you are doing. Pay attention to every action. That's what I say, do, and preach all the time. Don't do multitasking. Do only one thing at it. If you can do that, then the elephant will be trained, retrained in that attention and in these responses, and then behaves well. So train early, train gently, train daily. Your own body, your own mind, your own emotionals, your all that. But you are beyond all this, that inner core of awareness. Sat Chit Anand, existential awareness that is blissful. Because it has no movement of thought. That's why it's blissful. It is awareness because that's the sense we have. I'm aware of my thoughts, aware of my feelings, aware of where I am, what's going on. But you are not in the awareness. You are stuck in your intellect. And you're very proud of it. And you want to argue with everybody. I said so many times, you guys are all stuck in your mind. Get out of it. Use the mind. Don't be led by the mind. They don't get it because they are always in the mind. But you are inviting your own suffering by being that. See, I will conclude this with a way forward. What do we do from this loop to liberation? Loop of attraction, disappointment, all that to liberation of all that craving. Yoga isn't an absolute philosophy or abstract philosophy. It is a repeatable physiological and psychological reset. I will repeat that again. Yoga is not an abstract philosophy. It is a repeatable physiological and psychological reset. It's a practical technology for interrupting the bhoga suffering loop. Bhoga, doing stuff and missing out and then suffering. That loop is gone. And establishing a different pattern entirely. Retrain your attention. Retrain your nervous responses. Pause. Be aware. Okay? The practice begins with the radical art of stopping. Whatever. And then even one conscious breath creates a gap where choice becomes possible. In the gap, you have a choice. It's not like you have to do something. So take a deep breath. That is pausing your ongoing continuous mental activity to be thoughtless awareness. Aware. Breathe. That alignment of the body, breath, and brain happens in that, right? Breathe. Slow, intentional breathing shifts the nervous system state activates the vagus nerve, parasympathetic nervous system, that is a rest and digest system, and brings the body into coherence. You're breathing, you're stopping your nervous system, but also you are bringing yourself to the present moment. Okay? This is physiology and philosophy also. It's not. It's not philosophy, it is physiology actually. So you paused in awareness, you took a deep breath, aligning your body and breath and brain, and you choose your response. You're not reacting because you're not allowing the time for the reaction to go through. You have taken a break from that. You have paused, right? You have breathed. And now you're going to choose your response. From a steadier state, you can now respond rather than react. React is automatically done with the animal brain, the basal ganglia, below the cortex. But you have paused that. The reactivity, pause that, now you have the time to respond. This is where freedom lives, in the space between the stimulus and the response. You are free there. You can choose whatever response you want and then act purposefully. You have a purpose. You have understood what is your purpose. You have made it, and act purposefully, not according to your selfish interest, according to dharma, according to what is good for everybody, everything, for the entire planet. Aligned action from your clarity. The action is flowing from your clarity. You know what is right, what is not right. You know what is good, what is not good. What's good for everybody versus what is not good for everybody. From that clarity, your action flows. Okay? So you paused in awareness, you aligned yourself with the breath, you kind of choose your response from that pause, and then acting purposefully, which is flowing from your knowing of dharma, not driven by craving or avoidance, but by what serves your deepest purpose, which is for everybody else also, and highest values. Steadiness, inner joy happens now. The result is that steadiness, that inner joy, a quality of well-being that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Peace that comes from alignment, not acquisition. You don't need to acquire anything. You just align with your inner reality, inner dharma, and all that. So there are some micro rituals you can do, daily retraining, not preaching. A 60-second reset where you take a deep breath slowly and sit down and soften your face. And then a simple act of interrupting the stress cascades. Just taking a break. One swap daily. Just replace one habit that you think that you should change with one. Just start slow. And then in the evening, spend time your inquiry and really reflecting on things. And then make your mind vacated and still, and then go to bed on the bedtime stillness. So this is more like a reframing liberation, moksha, for the modern minds. See, this liberation can sound mystical or impossible, but it begins as something utterly practical. Freedom from compulsive craving and restless thought. It starts as time, inner steadiness, not supernatural escape. Just a steadiness. Be quiet and then see what grows from that. Think of it as a ladder that works today, right where you are. Comfort, awareness, purpose, and inner freedom. In that order. Okay? You don't renounce the world. You develop the capacity to engage it without being enslaved by it. This is a nervous system and consciousness upgrade available through patient, consistent practice. So I call this proactive wellness integration. This is a non-violent approach. So when you have proactive wellness, you don't attack things or bhoga or or moralize about pleasure. No, you don't say that. Instead, proactive wellness offers you something better, the direct taste of stillness, clarity, and the presence. When the mind experiences that, it naturally begins to drop what no longer serves. That is clinging that we drop that. So we want to offer, not to attack, and we want to demonstrate, not to moralize things, and we want to install rhythms. That's why everyday morning routine is important. Not demanding, but inviting people to experience that and practice it and awaken through resonance. They practice and they see benefit. So, boga is more like a salt water, yoga is fresh water. The more you drink salt water, the thirstier you become. Try that. You will see that fresh water quenches your thirst. When the mind tastes stillness, real stillness, not the dull numbness of distraction, it naturally drops the noise. It's like a fresh water. So, closing thing is choose the inner sky. You are that awareness of sky. Okay? Again and again. Come back to it. Maybe every hour, 1 minute, take deep breaths and focus on the presence, focus on what is going on inside of you. In terms of, I don't have brain fog, even though I do so many meetings here and on the consultants and all that, because I don't cling on to the experiences right away. I let them go. How? By paying complete attention to what is I'm involved in at this moment. Like I'm involved with you guys in this moment. So choose the inner sky. Realize within and then radiate outward. It happens by itself. The flower develops, but the fragrance comes out of it. So work on flowering your inner being. Okay? Then what you cultivate in stillness naturally expresses in action. Inner alignment becomes outer service. This is dharma, living from your deepest truth that we are all connected, we are all really one, and whatever we do is the fulfillment for everybody. Thank you. Any questions you can ask me now. Anybody on the mobile, you can come up now if you want to, and then ask me.
Thank you, Doctor.
Shalu, what do you think?
I was listening, Doctor. I'm just trying to absorb everything and understand.
Basically, what they are selling us, like you do this, that, and all that, is not all that correct away. And then take some time to spend with yourselves, stay still, and then do that. And then yoga is about that, about our inner union with our, Atma, Paramatma, okay? Jiva to the Paramatma. That's what they they talked about simple outward life. They talked about inner rich life. So don't get sucked into the outer, external, modern bhoga. To some extent is okay, but don't be led by the fact, they say happiness outside of you. That's not true. They say happiness is in your things. That's not true. And they don't allow you to pay attention to your inner life. That's not good for us. So don't be sold by this attention economy is don't sell your attention to external things, marketing pressures. That's where the modern life, which is not Eastern anymore, all over the country, all over the world, it's like that. In India also, they are more into the external life than the inward life. What I am inviting is know the limitations of the external life and don't let them be enslaving you, and then open up your inner self and realize everything there. And for that, make some time. I am very happy to be in that. Many people may not understand. That doesn't matter to me. But as far as I am concerned, Atmanyam Atmanam, that means I'm satisfied with the self itself, not my egotistical, limited self. No, not that. The self, that is the energy that is in everybody. Okay, once you are in touch with that, I think you have a stillness of mind, peace of mind, joy, happiness, everything there. Okay?
Right. Right, Doctor.
Mm. So, in simple terms, the modern life that is built by many of our countries is not all that cracked up to be. It is producing so much of chronic illness, so much of mental illness, so much of drug addictions, so many addictions, so much restlessness, so many wars and all that. So it's not helping us in wellness terms, in terms of our peace, in terms of happiness. Wake up and look at that and examine. Don't agree with me. Go and examine it and find out for yourself what is what. Why the ancients were happier, nervous system stable, don't have stress in their life, enjoyed nature, contributed to the nature so many ways. Right?
Right, Doctor.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's all I have to say for today. And I hope you got something out of it. And I'm still waiting for the new vibe. There are 97 people, Nobody has a comment about it or understanding about it.
Sometimes, Dr. Rao, your needs are there where I feel that, which is not required,
Yeah.
we fall in
Yeah.
trap of that expenditure unnecessarily. And
Yeah. That's
and,
where they said vairagya, dispassion to things, Do what is needed. If you're hungry, you have to eat. You're thirsty. But when we kind of allow that hunger to be multiple psychological foods and, the food as the happiness, that's the problem.
mm,
Eat
very
for
true,
nutrition.
Doctor.
Eat for nutrition. Eat for some. When you are eating, enjoy the food. Be grateful for that. But why do you have to modify? Like my friend who is spreading vlogs all over by eating all this comfort food as though that is happiness, as though that is the experience only we have breathing. He's acting in grave ignorance. It will hit him later on when the health is spoiled. He cannot eat all these foods. And also, what is he contributing to the wellness of the human beings? And that will also haunt him because he has contributed to so much ill health because he is promoting this. He may get money.
Living in moderation.
Yeah.
Everything in
Moderation.
moderation.
Not just moderation. Not moderation only, but independent of it. Eat the food, but don't be enslaved by the taste so that you have to eat only certain foods. Diabetic wants to eat sweets a lot, then bankrupts the pancreas, right? Then does have the insulin. Then he cannot eat those sweets anymore. Not only moderation, but also not to be enslaved by the desires and cravings. That is the liberation. You are eating, but then you are eating minimal and what is required, but not allowing your psychological cravings to eat more. Everybody repeats this word moderation. but they get indulged in things. That is just the important thing. It's not to limit it, but also not to be enslaved by it. That's all.
What I see, Dr. Rao, is that people keep on. I'm just observing around, and where they keep on spending. Expenditures are way higher, and they're not happy about it. Because what they do, the next step is.
That's the result of the modern life. Modern life doesn't result in satisfaction, peace, and happiness. It's more like invites you more indulgence into things. And after a while, they find that's all empty. It's not giving me. That's why purposeful life is important. That's why you have to know your purpose in life.
And they end up just refilling whatever being spent.
That's it. That's it. It's not only them, Shalu, it's also about us. Okay, if you look at that way, then we will understand better of what condition we are in and how we can reawaken to that. Otherwise, it becomes like a pointing over somebody but ignoring what is going on within us. This is about Swadhyaya, self-study. Self-study in life, as you are experiencing things, as you are living. Do you do only stuff, or do you engage in reflecting yourself, what's going on within me? It's not about others really, it's about us, ourselves. Not in a selfish way, but more responsible way, and also really getting the relief from it. Just pointing out somebody else has it doesn't relieve me from that. Right? It's as simple as that. So yoga practice is a swa-adhyaya.
This is such a simple thing, sir.
Yeah, it is.
But it is in psychology, they made it like a shadow work. And
No. This is all not about others. It is about human condition. All of us are in. Maybe some are ahead, some are later, but that's okay. But the main thing is the focus. If you are pointing out somebody else, your focus is on somebody else, not on your inner self. Not even self-absorption, but self-knowing, self-understanding, self-studying, inquiring about your own inner self. Suppose you talked about emotions, Shami. That's happening within all of us. Don't have to say only the people who are acting out of the emotion are bad. No, that's the human condition. Understand that, understand what is precipitating it, and awaken to it. Don't have this some patriotic, some egotistical thinking like, we are so superior than other people. No, we are all in the same boat.
Simple thing. Dad controlling a child. I am the one who is provider. You must listen to me. This is also
it's your duty to provide because you brought the child in the world. And afterwards, the child has a right to be himself. And then that's the only way for him to be happy. If he doesn't overcome these cravings, these demands from within him, he's going to make the mistake of doing those cravings, right? Why do we allow the kids to be addicted to the drugs and everything? Because we don't teach them this inner contentment, inner happiness, inner bliss that people can have. That's why in ancient India, they started teaching what is called Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is this, that there is a universal consciousness. That consciousness appears in all of us, and that as long as it is there, life is there. So you got to really identify that and stay there and be reverent to the energy that is around us too. That they taught them as they are children. Then they are allowed to go and form families, multiply, and then provide. And then when they are retiring and at the end of the life, they have easier time to come back to it. They had a human life, but also spiritual awakening, and then they merged into the infinity after the death. So not having that kind of orientation, like everything is external, everything is outward. And then they say, oh, we have so many gunboats, so we're going to have the gunboat diplomacy. We're going to have so many dollars, they're going to control you. And you see what is happening because of that. People are unhappy, people are depressed, people don't have a quality of life. They have to struggle for minimal things. And many people die of food. Look at what is happening in Gaza. And you see the babies with deep bones and all that. Why is that? Because we don't think they are us. They are separate. They can suffer, but we don't have to be having that human kindness and love within our heart come out.
This new Avatar movie has literally shown about this, as a universe, we are all connected, we take care of each other. Everything so beautifully he has conveyed that. I don't know how many could see that.
No, that's important. No, that's important to have that kind of mass media. Star Wars, for example, Star Wars is about Indian ancient wisdom of Advaita. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I saw the movie in 70s. I enjoyed it as a technical, as a entertainment and all that. But I didn't know the underlying philosophy in that. And then Jeffrey Lyons, he wrote a book on the Yoga of Yoda. Remember that character Yoda? And the Yoga of Yoda. Read that book, then you'll understand Advaita philosophy is there in Star Wars underlying. Because George Segal, he learned that from his own guru, Indian guru, and then he brought that in a beautiful way. This is how it is conveyed, mass media. But if you don't have the sensitivity, you won't get it. But somebody else explains that, then we will get it. So this is a good thing that the cinema medium is universal, right? You can tell anybody anything. That's what's happening with a lot of people, right? So if you convey something into and then somebody gets it and they pursue it, they explore it, what I am doing, what I am experiencing inward, I want to radiate outward. That's all. That's a good thing that they did that, Sharmi. I'm going to see the movie anyway, but that's a good thing that they are doing that.
I asked my son after the movie, do you see a message here? Everybody lives together. It's not that I don't care about them.
Yeah.
Not much. Everything is revolving together. We are all together in one world, in one family. It's good, at least through moving, we can tell these things to them.
Ancient said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
I felt very touched by the movie. It was very, very, emotional connections, taking care of each other. So beautiful, Doctor,
Good.
for this movie.
Good. Yeah. No, like I said, Star Wars is based on that Advaita philosophy, that is, we are all one. Advaita means there is no second. Right? That is what is conveyed in that in so many ways. So there are there's all these people appearing like munis or yogis, and what they do for everything, they sit down and meditate first, right? And Yoda himself is an epitome of wisdom and philosophy. So anyway, thank you. And we will talk about this more as we go along because it's maybe foreign to a lot of people.
Yeah. 2.5 hours, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Good, happy New Year again.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, everybody. I will see you again when I have the time. Thank you.